Some plants spend their lives stealing from other plants and are known as parasites. Parasites are organisms that derive some or all of their nutrients from other organisms in a way that is not mutually beneficial. Mistletoe is a parasitic plant. It can only exist by growing on another tree, as it has no roots. Mistletoe grows on branches of host trees, tapping into the plant's transport system to steal water and sugary sap. Most mistletoe species have green leaves, enabling them to manufacture some food by photosynthesis. But many parasitic plants can't even manage that. This dodder vine is germinating. A totally parasitic plant, its seeds must quickly find a host, or they will die. Not even a nettle sting will deter the dodder. The seedlings suck the sap from the nettle's stem, fueling the dodder's growth, and when it has enough nourishment, it will flower. A single dodder seedling may, in time, overwhelm a whole bed of nettles. The mistletoe and dodder vine rely on their host staying alive, but one plant sets out to kill its victim. A young fig tree grows slowly on the branch of its host. Its roots crawl over the branches, and some head for the ground. Supplied with nutrients, it now grows extremely quickly, its rootlets wrapping around the host's trunk, forming a web. The host tree is being killed. This is a strangler fig. Over several years, the fig roots will strangle the trunk, stealing most of the nutrients from the soil and blocking sunlight from reaching the host's leaves. The host tree will eventually die. As its trunk rots away, the fig remains standing, as its roots have formed a hollow cylinder strong enough to support it. The plant world is filled with parasitic plants, some just looking for an easy ride, but others are out to kill.
Malaria is transmitted by the bite of a mosquito. Not all mosquitoes can transmit malaria. Only one genus, Anopheles, is responsible, and only the female feeds on blood. This female Anopheles is feeding on the blood drawn from the capillaries in a man's wrist. If she can't find blood, she can feed on fruit juices, but without a blood meal, she can't make eggs and can't reproduce. Given the opportunity, she'll feed on blood every 2 or 3 days, and each time she takes in more than her own weight of blood. Her abdomen swells up, and as she feeds, she concentrates the blood, and the clear fluid, separated, is excreted. If a mosquito feeds on someone infected with malaria, parasites will be taken up with the blood. Here is a mosquito's blood meal. These are red cells, and these are the sickle-shaped gametocytes of Plasmodium falciparum. Falciparum means sickle-shaped, a male and a female. The male gametocyte exflagellates to produce the motile, thread-like microgametes. When a male contacts a female, the two fuse to produce an invasive motile zygote, the ookinete. This swims through the blood meal and penetrates the stomach wall, where it grows rapidly into an oocyst. After 10 to 12 days, the oocyst is mature and packed with sporozoites. This mosquito is carrying a very heavy infection. The oocysts rupture into the body cavity, and the sporozoites move through the body of the mosquito to enter its salivary glands. When the mosquito feeds again, the sporozoites are injected with the saliva into another person, and the transmission cycle is complete. To summarize the cycle, the gametocytes are ingested with the blood meal, the male exflagellates, fertilization takes place. The ookinetes form oocysts on the stomach wall, and sporozoites leave the oocysts and migrate to the salivary glands. To show that a mosquito is infected with malaria, it's necessary to find oocysts on its stomach wall or sporozoites in its salivary glands.
Mosquitoes are usually vegetarian, preferring to drink nectar, fruit juices, and honeydew. Only a pregnant mosquito will bite humans, seeking nutrients from blood to nourish her developing eggs. If she drinks blood from someone infected with malaria, she too becomes infected with the disease. The tiny drop of blood filling the insect's stomach is teeming with malaria parasites. The parasite form that is deadly inside humans cannot survive in the mosquito's stomach and is slowly digested with the rest of her blood meal. However, back in the human host, a few of the parasites turned into a different type of cell, one that is sexual but remains dormant. Malaria sex is triggered when the warm human blood begins to cool inside the insect's stomach. The female form of the parasite matures into an egg. The male form takes a while longer to mature into sperm. This sperm is from an earlier feed. The fertilized cell can glide and begins to explore its new environment. It migrates to the outer lining of the mosquito's stomach before transforming into a cyst. Each cyst produces thousands of thin, tiny parasites which seek out and infest the mosquito's salivary glands. The next time this mosquito bites a victim, the malaria parasite will ride in with her saliva and infect another human. This year, 10% of people on Earth will be struck down with malaria. Most people who die from the disease will be pregnant women and children under the age of 5.
This is the untold story of the explosion of child malaria deaths.
We estimate that there are more than 1 million deaths each year, which is like 7 jumbo jets going down each day, and 90% of those deaths are in children.
30 years ago, malaria for most children was no more dangerous than a dose of the flu. What has happened to turn malaria into Africa's biggest child killer?
It is one of the greatest atrocities of our time. It is mass murder. Honestly, it's a form of terrorism against public health.
And I'm right at the points where malaria kills children. So I feel it on a daily basis, and I know that this is the truth.
This is about a very different battle against malaria, one very few people want to talk about. It is a battle against greed, corruption, and a murderous global racket in fake pharmaceutical drugs. But only now is the extraordinary damage caused by this racket coming to light. And it affects everyone who takes a medicine.
Our parasitized caterpillar has spent the last 12 days gorging itself. It now appears profoundly obese. But this is not all fat. The glomerata wasp larvae lie just under its skin. Each is the size of a grain of rice, but together they account for over a third of the caterpillar's weight. The larvae have not yet finished growing and need to keep their host alive. So although they feast on the caterpillar's blood, they have been careful not to touch a single one of its vital organs. This uneasy truce will not last. Within days, the larvae are fully matured. Suddenly, they begin to stir into action. For the past 2 weeks, this surrogate womb has protected them, but now they no longer need it. To complete the next stage of their life cycle, they must break out. The caterpillar's thick skin should be a solid barrier to the parasitic wasp larvae. But as their bodies have grown, they have developed tiny, saw-like teeth. These jagged jaws are for one job only: cutting their way out. Stroke by stroke, the larvae slice through the tough layers of skin. At the same time, they release chemicals that paralyze the caterpillar. As the larvae break through, there is nothing it can do. Free at last, the larvae enter a new phase of development. They swiftly spin silken cocoons. These will provide the perfect environment for their final transformation. But ironically, one of the greatest dangers the larvae will face is being themselves impregnated by other species of parasitic wasp. Incredibly, the wounded caterpillar helps them out. Usually, a caterpillar would spin a silken blanket to make its own cocoon. But the parasitized caterpillar spins his blanket on top of the wasp cocoons, giving them an extra layer of protection. Scientists believe the same wasp virus that infected it weeks before has now invaded the caterpillar's brain and caused this bizarre corruption of its normal behavior. Amazingly, the caterpillar's natural aggression is now also exploited by the wasp virus. The caterpillar becomes a bodyguard, actively protecting the cocoons from other parasites. It will watch over them unceasingly until it eventually starves to death.
Here in the southeastern United States, these besieged plants have actually sent up a chemical mist, an SOS to these black wasps. Why? Because black wasps are known as aphid killers, and some aphids are busily sucking the life out of these plants. Now, despite its nickname, this wasp isn't here merely to kill the aphids. No, that would be too easy. Like a character in a James Bond movie, the wasp has a more exquisite punishment for the aphid. With a clinical precision, the wasp injects a single egg into each aphid's body. This means a slow death for the aphid, as the wasp egg grows inside it. Each wasp can plant eggs in 200 aphids. The aphids send out their own chemical alarm systems, and the colony panics. But it's too late. The wasp has done its work. Hasta la vista, baby. And we mean baby. The aphids face a gruesome death. The ravenous wasp larva will eat the aphid alive from the inside out. The aphid's body becomes the incubator for the young of its predator. A new generation of assassins will soon emerge, littering these killing fields with corpses. Okay, now here's the money shot. The young wasp emerging to seek out more aphids to begin this cycle all over again. The wasp, with its exquisitely deathly plan, and yet just doing what nature's programmed it to do.
Do you think parasites are connected with a lot of the diseases we have today?
No.
I think it exists. I don't think it's a big problem.
Are you interested in knowing what parasites do to you?
Probably, I mean, yeah.
Probably not for me. I'll be honest, it doesn't really interest me. There's tons of people that have parasites and don't even know it.
It's a big, very big issue.
At the beginning, I didn't believe that I had parasites.
People need to cleanse more often.
I did. I had parasites. That was nasty thing.
I was really shocked when I found out that this is something that affects every single living human, in fact every single living organism on the face of the earth.
I experienced parasites coming out of my body about 3, 4, 5 times.
You could be leading a healthy lifestyle, you could be jogging, eating raw food, taking vitamins and all those kind of things, but these guys don't care. These guys are persistent, they're dangerous, they're deadly. They've been around for millions of years. They know what they're doing, and they're inside of all of us, and we're constantly being exposed to this.
There's definitely a problem with it.
There's a war going on that's going on inside every one of us, and this is something that we all need to take very seriously.
This is not science fiction. This is scary, it's real, and it's serious. Monsters living inside us that eat our bodies and control our emotions, urges, and thoughts. A Discover magazine feature article said that every living thing has at least one parasite that lives inside of it, and humans have far more. This silent issue is so important, former President Jimmy Carter is putting intensive efforts into increasing global awareness of this serious issue.
As a colon hydrotherapist for approximately 21 years now, you wouldn't believe what I see coming out of people's bodies.
This is not just a third world country thing. Everybody has them. Even normal people with lots of money living in suburbia who take showers 3 times a day. If you eat sushi, you have parasites. 1 square inch of raw sushi meat can contain 10,000 parasite larvae and eggs that begin begin hatching inside you the minute you eat it. The most common kind is tapeworms, which can grow to 60 feet long and live in your intestines for decades.
When I have clients that absolutely love sushi, I find that they have an inordinate amount of that particular problem of like clusters of parasites.
If you have pets, you are guaranteed to have parasites. It doesn't matter if you're vegetarian, raw foodist, vegan, or macrobiotic. Even the healthiest and richest people on earth have parasites. You can't kill them all, only control them, because our bodies have trillions of cells which rely on helpful bacteria like probiotics to work right. If we kill all the organisms in our body, we kill ourselves. The secret is to keep the bad guys to a minimum. Make our bodies so healthy and clean, the undesirable guests won't want to stick around. Don't feed them the junk food they love. Sweet stuff, bread, alcohol, rice, pasta, milk, cookies, crackers, cereal, meat, cheese, cooked foods, refined carbohydrates, soft drinks, commercial fruit juices, junk foods. They love the food you love and hate the food you hate. Even letting yourself become run down energetically allows them to get stronger. So who's winning, you or them? There are hundreds of thousands of types of parasites, ranging from huge worms to the single-celled amoebas that can cross the blood-brain barrier and begin digesting your brain and other organs like your liver, heart, and kidneys. They are silent. They move very slowly so you don't feel them or know they're there. That's how they want it. If you don't know they're there, then you won't do anything about it. They are smart. Parasites are living alien creatures who live off of others. They eat your food. They poop their waste inside you, making your blood, lymph, and tissues toxic. We are living in their sewage. Did you know 1/3 of your poop isn't even yours? It's waste that's been pooped out by parasites. You think you're clean? Think again. Everyone has parasites. They're everywhere. It's almost impossible not to come in contact with them. They are in the air. You can breathe them in. A single handshake can transfer over 500,000 organisms. Anything other people touch, shopping carts, door handles, toilet seats, doorknobs, signature pens, daycare centers, diaper changes, and pets, which pick up tiny unseen organisms from the ground they walk on, carpeting, grass, dirt, lawns, especially grass and lawns that have been used for defecating. Animals lick their butt and then lick their fur, and then you pet that fur, absorbing parasites directly into your skin, while others wait for you to put your hand near your face, where they enter through the nose, mouth, and eyes. They eat your food and use your body as a breeding ground, sucking you dry of nutrition, energy, and life force. Some worms can lay millions of eggs a day. If you break apart a tapeworm, the broken part can regrow into another worm. Common signs of parasites are you're tired a lot, sleeping problems, constant itching, weakness, headaches, lack of appetite, or hungry all the time, especially for sweet foods and carbs, flu-like symptoms, depression, skin problems, acne, arthritis, joint pains, eczema, dermatitis, sinus problems, breathing and lung problems like pneumonia, then uncontrollable coughing, lumps under the skin, cysts, diarrhea and constipation, sometimes alternating back and forth, mucus in your stool, irritable bowel syndrome, stomach aches, cramps, digestion problems, nausea, overly dry lips, vision and eye problems, gas, bloating. Parasites can burrow into your brain and cause nerve damage and eye problems. They can multiply so much in your gut what you think is fat may in fact be entire nests of parasites. They can clog up your digestive tract so much no food can get through, making you constipated. They love to live in your stomach and intestines because that's where all the food goes, and you feed them every day. As a matter of fact, it's said that almost every health condition known can be connected with parasites in some way.
I've seen actual tapeworms come out of a person. It looked like flat, long spaghetti strands. 2 of them.
A 40-foot tapeworm can have 3,000 to 4,000 segments, each one of which can grow into its own piece. It can lay over 1 million eggs a day. If you are skinny and have trouble gaining weight, or have ever had a dog lick your face, if you have abdominal cramping or appendix pains, or liver, gallbladder, pancreas issues, or lung problems, you might very well be host to 1 or more huge tapeworms. Pinworms. If you have sleeping problems, itchy butt, joint pain, or female problems, those are common pinworm symptoms. Whipworms are a type of roundworm that secretes a digestive fluid that liquefies your colon wall so they can eat it. Over 1 billion people have whipworms. Roundworms look like fat spaghetti and are one of the most common human infections. One roundworm can lay 2 million eggs per day, and they can live for years. They hatch in your colon, then penetrate the intestinal wall, enter the bloodstream and lymph system, and then make their way to the liver, heart, and eventually the lungs, where they grow to 2 inches long, pass through the air sacs into the throat, causing uncontrollable coughing, where they are swallowed so they can go back down in the intestines, where they lay more eggs and start the whole thing all over again. Roundworms cause pneumonia-like symptoms, breathing problems, chest tightness, asthma, heart problems, fluid retention, mucus in the lungs, nagging cough, digestive problems, stomach pains, cramping, nausea, bloating, malnutrition, protruding stomach, and intestinal blockages. Sushi is one of the major sources of tapeworms, which can grow to over 50 feet long in your intestines. Walking barefoot is a good way to pick them up, not just in dirt and grass or in the house of pets, but also the beach. Hookworms. Remember the movie Alien? Hookworms have 4 sets of teeth, so they can eat your intestinal walls and suck your blood. People with hookworms lose a lot of blood and don't even know it. Parasites can penetrate the placenta in a pregnant woman and enter the baby. They can even be passed through breast milk. Parasites can even contribute to infertility and childbirth difficulties. If a child is born, it can have retarded mental and physical abilities. People with parasites are never living life to its fullest capacity because they are sucked dry of energy, minerals, and nutrition. They are tired all the time, depressed, and barely alive. All their life force goes to the parasites.
We're all subject to this, like it or not. It's a fact.
Tests done at funeral homes show that 97% of the body fluids in people were totally consumed with parasites and worms. Scientists are just beginning to discover exactly how powerful and disturbing these hidden monsters can be. Our cells are controlled by chemical signals. Parasites emit a chemical that directly affects our behavior, thoughts, decisions, and urges. Think about that. Something inside us that's not us, causing us to make unsafe decisions, so we eat, drink, and do things that benefit the parasite, including physical contact with other people so the parasite can spread. Why do we eat foods and do things we know are bad for us? Why is this so hard to resist? They look like snakes. Even the Book of the Essenes refers to the parasite as Satan, the serpent living inside us, tempting us, ruining our health, breaking apart our relationships, and ruining our lives.
Throughout all of history, they've been warning us. Think about it. From the very beginning, Adam and Eve were tempted by the serpent. What's really creepy is the thought there's a serpent within each of us, tempting us to do things we really shouldn't. In this engraving from the 1500s, we can see Adam and Eve feeding the serpent, the parasite. To many, true health and being in a loving monogamous relationship is paradise, and feeding the serpent exiles you from paradise.
Everything is more connected than you think. What you eat, who and what you touch, your health, your moods, your relationships, everything. What can you do about it? Start by doing the right thing. Don't give in to temptation. Clean your environment and your body. Stop eating foods that feed parasites.
But seeing you with him just don't feel right. And I'm like,